Hi, this is Michael P. Coleman, Content Director for Brother Be Well. Thanking you for checking out this series, this trauma and healing series brought to you by Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
And would you agree, Julio? It's so interesting to me that such a little thing can make such a profound difference. Would you agree? I love the way you put it. We take breathing for granted, and
hmm
often when we're stressed, as you said, you said a few seconds. I probably have gone longer than that, and I bad habits of mine that I put behind me. We've got a habit of kind of holding our breath without even realizing it. So just releasing that and kind of resetting that breathing pattern and learning how to deep breathe. So not just breathing from up there, breathe from, the belly and get a deep breath in and fill those lungs up. It just makes a world of difference, a world of difference.
And there's ways that like you can assist yourself, whether it's through an app that tells you breathe in, breathe out. Luckily for me, I have my doggies and I use them as a way to breathe, right? It is amazing. We as humans like let our emotions get so much wrapped up into the way we breathe, the way we tense our bodies and everything. But like sometimes I just put my hand on my doggy's tummy when they're sleeping or when they are resting, and I follow the way they breathe
Mm.
because they don't have all that stress, all that tension, and it helps me to reset. I'm like, okay, let me breathe with you and let out. You know, use the things that you have around. Like pets are amazing, and sometimes we don't realize that one of the benefits of like having a pet as a companion for therapeutic reasons is because having another living creature that knows how to modulate all of that is gonna help us regulate ourselves as well.
You've just given me another great idea for a production, a Brother Be Well production. We need to do one on pets and how they can help us in our journey. So thank you for the idea, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anytime.
Let's take a look at a few natural medicines right now and even foods that can help us to heal from trauma. I've learned that herbal teas, for example, chamomile and valerian root, have been proven to help reduce anxiety, especially, and thought this was really fascinating, especially in people that are managing post traumatic stress disorder. Those sound like just teas and a little root, incorporated into our diet. They sound like relatively inexpensive potential additions to our diet, and they might make a huge difference in managing or helping us to manage our trauma responses. Give me your professional opinion on those, if you would, Julio. And while you've got the floor, if you've got some other examples you want to throw in there, please feel free to do so.
Absolutely. I think that I want to start with the disclaimer. I'm not a medical provider, and I always encourage people to talk to the medical provider if they are taking any medication or they have any health concerns before they start taking any natural medicines like teas, herbs, foods. Because although they are natural, we have to think that also medications sometimes use compounds from natural ingredients and they may interfere with that. There are people who are wonderful at doing traditional medicines. At the place where I work at the Sacramento Native American Health Center, we have an amazing herbologist that walks out our patients through the different modalities and different practices of different uses for medications. Right. With that said, there is like things that I personally like to incorporate into the way that I treat myself. Right. I have been doing a switch from coffee to tea every morning for the last 2 weeks. I'm about 70% successful at that. You know, I'm still trying to purge the caffeine from coffee and all of that. But like, I make sure that I have mint because mint is a relaxer. It also helps you to feel a little more perky. And, it's kind of weird when you think about something that is relaxing, but at the same time gives you that spunk. Because not every, like a chamomile gives you a different type of relaxation, more like making you go to sleep. Same like like valerian roots, or I love lavender. I love drinking lavender when I get home and I wanna, like just relax for the evening. I start either reading or watching something on TV after I take a bath, and I just have some lavender that gives me the opportunity to continue to be awake. But this is kind of the same idea when you take a lavender bath, right? You feel very relaxed, but without that feeling that you need to go to bed immediately. So it's finding that what works for you and reading a little bit about herbs. Once again, I recommend that anybody who has health concerns or is taking medications to talk to a professional primary care physician to see if there's any interaction with that.
Thank you for that reminder, sir. And I was remiss in not doing that up front. Very important that we talk to our medical providers before we add anything or take anything away from our diets as well. And in that spirit, along with thinking about the things that we could add or take away, I wanted to tell you while I got you about this new book I just learned about. James Gordon is the author's name, and his book is called The Trauma Healing Diet. He advocates for a series of foods and just some really minor changes to help us heal from trauma. Some of them are eating whole foods, leaning away from the processed stuff, making non-starchy vegetables a major part of our diets, fruit in moderation, eating organic when we can, replacing most red meat with plant proteins, and adding a high dose multivitamin. They sounded like great ideas to me. They also reminded me of a lot of the work that we've done with here at Brother Be Well with our two nutrition experts, Delilah Bizaze and Tasha Sarver. If you're watching this, look them up on our platform. They've done some podcasts and some videos that are really going to help you out in terms of just little hacks, just small things we can add to our diets or not, or to really make a difference, add to rather than take away. Julio, talk about, and you just did it, are there other, you talked about some teas and some lavender. Do you have any superfoods, so to speak, that you've learned to incorporate? For me, it's been, you talked about getting rid of caffeine. I did that one a couple years ago, and I'm leaning way away from red meat and processed meat. I've had red meat, we're recording this in mid-April. I've had red meat twice this calendar year, which for me, growing up in a home where we had it 3 meals a day, that's huge. And I can't tell you the difference in my energy, I'm able to focus. I can really tell it's made a positive impact on my health. I'm curious about whether you got a specific other idea, food related, that may be related to this book, maybe not, that you might want to share.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that is very important for me is to listen to my body, right? Your body is super smart. There's moments that we're craving something that we don't know where that craving is coming from. Like all of a sudden I feel like I need to eat a banana. And I'm like, where is this coming from? My body knows what it needs, right? My body knows that uh, I'm lacking potassium right now. I need to have bananas, right? It recognizes that that's one of the fruits that has that potassium. I think it's learning to listen to the cravings that we have and be like, why am I feeling this way? Why do I crave this? And feed yourself a very diverse array of foods, and like whether it's fruits, grains, plants. Um, I cannot completely go vegetarian. I tell people that I try it for about 6 months and then I realize I'm a meatitarian. And but one of the things that I have made a very conscious effort, and I know that it can be difficult because whenever we want to go, whether it's organic or like, for instance, cruelty free meats and all of that, there's an expense that is added to that. And there's times that it is a struggle for me to be able to afford all that, right? So I have to try to be conscious, okay, how do I balance this? But the reason why I decided to eat meats that are a little more compassionate, the way they are raised, the way they are killed, is because I think we have talking here about how our bodies and our DNA change according to the experiences that we have. So if we want to think about animals as sentient creatures, if something is like having a rough life and is killing a horrible way, plus they are like subjected to hormones and all of that, I don't want that in my body. I want to make sure that what I put in my body is the best that I can. Um, as I talked about it before, and I know that you know this, I also work with people struggling with substance use and addiction, right? For me, traditional, for the indigenous people that I come from, we think about whatever we put in our bodies as a good medicine or a bad medicine, right? Like if we like to teas and fruits and cleansing things, that either we do some smudging or we drink it or take it because it's healing. The same thing happens with other things that are not as good. When we put substances and alcohol and meats that are full of hormones, am I really putting the best thing? Am I giving the right medicine to my body? So I want to make sure that as part of my health, whether it's my spiritual, physical, mental, like whenever I eat something, I'm like, where does this come from? Is it good for me? So that's the holistic approach I have to. Not only does it have the vitamins that I need, but also is this something that I want in my body?
I really appreciate that perspective. You gave me a lot to think about there, Julio. And as we get ready to wrap this conversation up, I can't believe we're just about out of time today, but I believe I might know what your answer to this may be because you just had a heck of a soundbite a few minutes ago. I don't know even know if you realized it. When you said listen to your body, it's really good at talking back to us. You just have to listen. I'm going to carry that with me away from this video. So that may well be, that's probably my big takeaway. But before we take off, I wanted to check in with you. What would, for someone watching this video, what would your number one takeaway be from this conversation for someone who's interested in a more holistic approach to their own, not just trauma and healing even, but their own mental health care? What would be your top tip?
I think that one of the things that has been a journey for me, and it has taken a lot of practice to do, is to learn to love myself in body, mind, and spirit. So learn who you are, look at the positive things, the talents, the gifts, the amazing things that you bring to others in your life, and learn to love who you are in body, mind, and spirit.
I can't think of a better way to wrap this conversation up. Julio Cruz, Integrated Behavioral Health Specialist, and Brother Be Well Clinical Advisor. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me once again.
We'll talk to you really soon. Thanks a lot. And I want to thank our sponsor of this trauma and healing series, Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative. That initiative boosts access to mental health support. You can learn all about it and that fantastic program rather at bluesky.blueshieldca.com. That's bluesky.blueshieldca.com. Read all about it there. Another website that I need to tell you about, brotherbewell.com. That's our own website. If you've enjoyed this video, there are a lot of videos just like this one, audio podcasts, compelling print pieces, amazing stories of resilience and strength and recovery, all on that site, brotherbewell.com. We are a membership supported service. So if you can join us as a member, that's great. If you want to start out a little more slowly, give us your email address if you would, and you'll sign up for our blog. It's perfectly free. And we'll send you notifications periodically as videos just like this become live. All of that is at brotherbewell.com. My name again, Michael P. Coleman. I'm content director for Brother Be Well. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you being with us. I don't like goodbye, so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say until next time, do two things for us. If you would, take great care of yourself first and foremost. And then when you get that down, reach over to the side and grab somebody and take care of them too. Till next time, bye-bye.